I just got back from my first ever protest. It's quite a time, and just the aftermath of the protest has me thinking, like, the protests themselves, right? It's just one small part of a much bigger plan, right? To actualize something. It's just one small part, right? That was one of the main themes of today. You have to start somewhere, and that's true. That's the case with anything, right? No matter what kind of goal you have, no matter what kind of position you are in, you have to start somewhere, right? With the case of this protest, and how I'm relating it to what I have to say, it's like it was very, very disorganized, right? It was very disorganized, and there were a lot of things that were going against us, right? There wasn't a lot of marketing, so there wasn't a lot of people. There was a lot of police. Like, it was a 2-to-1 ratio to police, like police to protesting, right? And it was honestly pretty scary. Like, things could have gotten out of hand really quickly had some of the protesters started doing things more violently / more aggressively. However, the larger message of the protest is to fight against, what we're protesting for, right? Or to fight for what we're protesting for. But you have to start somewhere. Doesn't matter how messy it is. It doesn't matter how many things are against you, right? Doesn't matter what it is that, what factors are at play that might stop you from doing something. You have to start somewhere, right? So many people get so caught up on the factors of something going wrong that they don't think about the things that could go right? But in order to get to that point where things do start going right, you have to continue. You have to start, and you have to continue. You have to continue. When you play a game, it says game over, right? What do you want to do? You want to quit or continue? Continue. You always keep going. You always keep going. You always keep going. Doesn't matter what setbacks you face. Doesn't matter. So many times, not only in my life, but in the lives of people that I know, they'll start something, but they don't continue doing it, or they don't see value in doing something for long term, right? And so they stop doing it midway through. Full time, had they kept doing that thing, they would have saw a lot more value than they originally saw, right? In my life specifically, there are so many times where I would quit midway through something that, had I kept doing whatever it was, it would have ended up being a lot more beautiful than what I previously foresaw, right? But none of that matters if I didn't even start to begin with. So many times, and I've said this before, but starting is always the hardest part. It doesn't matter what it is. I believe that starting is always the hardest part, whether it's a marathon, whether it's you're writing a book, whether you're writing a song, whether you have some goals like physically, or you're trying to get in better shape, whether you're trying to start a business, whether you're trying to get a house. Starting is always the hardest part, because a lot of times, what do you say to yourself? I don't know where to start. I don't know where to look. I don't know if I can start. I don't know how to start, right? You see all these questions that I just said, like all these things preventing you from starting. You get so caught up in these questions, you're like, oh, well, damn. Like, dang, I don't know what to do. And so guess what? You don't do anything because you don't know what to do. Whole time, the answer would have been founded had you just started somewhere. You have to start somewhere, right? I believe this wholeheartedly, that all the answers that you seek are within you already. If you already know that you need to do something, you just need to listen to that voice. You need to listen to that voice and actually do what it is that you need to do. That's what I did anyways. That's what's helped me. That's what I used to help me get started and actually start bettering my life, because I was so caught up on these hypotheticals. I started looking inwards and I was like, What is it that I need to do? What do I already know already? And so I started listening to those things. And then I just started. I started doing those things. Right? And it was hard. It was hard. Like, for instance, one thing that I try to do consistently is work out. Because for a while I wasn't really working out at all, or I was working out very inconsistently. So I started working out consistently. And that was hard because sometimes I just wouldn't even want to do it, or I didn't even feel up to it, but I kept pushing myself through it. And eventually it got to a point where it's like, well, dang, now, I feel bad if I don't work out, right? But I only got to that point because I started, right? Because before, had I kept working out inconsistently, I wouldn't really care whether I worked out or not. And that's just one small example, right? Obviously, if you're watching this, you have a much different life than me. We lead very different lives. But what I do know to be true with everyone is that if there's something you want, you just have to start. You have to start somewhere. And so I implore you, whatever goals you might have, whatever dreams you are seeking to obtain, whatever is within your reach, within your grasp, ask yourself, what is it that you know already? And work from there. What is it that you know you need to do already? Partially for me, what I needed to do was listen to my inner child, and so I did. I listened to that voice, and I nurtured it instead of silencing it, instead of letting the world silence it. And I started doing things that I liked. And then eventually I started getting better at it. And I started feeling more in tune with what it is that I needed to do. Right? Over time, obviously, I would deal with difficulties. I've dealt with many difficulties just throughout this little YouTube journey. Right? I've dealt with many difficulties. Moving, injuries, personal relationships. I've dealt with a lot of stuff. But I kept going regardless. Life is always going to hand you problems. It's going to give you situations that are very tough to deal with. And a lot of people, they don't know how to handle it, right? I mean, let me take that back. I would imagine that everyone deals with situations that they don't initially know how to handle, right? But you just gotta truck on through anyways. Because at the end of the day, and this is what I say to myself, everything's gonna turn out all right. Everything works out in the end. But I only could get to that point because I started somewhere. And that's my main message for today. If you find yourself stuck somewhere, no matter what it is, if trying to obtain something, listen to yourself and ask yourself what it is that you know already, and start there. Because you have to start somewhere. You have to start and continue doing what it is that you want to do. If you're seeing this, I love you. I hope you're having an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself, because the only person who can take care of you is you. Always remember, man. It's easy to talk about something, but it's hard to actually act on it. So start something. Just start somewhere, man. I believe in you. Have a good one.